Dominic, looks like you're up. So next we have Dominic Daughtry, who is a project engineer with Sundt Construction down in lovely San Diego, which is even better than LA's weather, I'd have to say. And Dominic has over 10 years of industry experience in public works and federal construction. Thank you. Go ahead, Dominic.
Thank you. And I first just want to say I've seen some amazing things. I mean, these guys right here, ladies and gentlemen, they've done an amazing job presenting, and the systems they've come up with have blown my mind. I'm actually, the first time I've ever been here is this year, and I was super excited, and I just want everybody to know that everybody that is up here has gotten help from Bluebeam. So if you're not in contact with your reps and things like that, like anything you want to do, all these ideas, all these things that everyone here is presenting on, we went to Bluebeam, and the people, they want to know how you want to use their software and what you want to do, and they will move mountains to make it happen for you. They'll give you technical support, they'll give you ideas, and that's how what you see up on the screen was created, and it's called the Sundt ShareBeam. And you don't got to be a genius. It's SharePoint, Bluebeam, ShareBeam, and I don't want to explain that part. And it's a document management system, and it integrates a whole suite of things. But like primarily, and you can see from this logo, and somebody asked me, how'd you come up with a diamond? And I told them I thought about it for a long time, and a diamond is really rare, and diamonds take a long time to be created, and also they are hard as hell. And this process and this collaboration on this system was all those things. And so I'll get right into it, but just to go over it real quick, Bluebeam, SharePoint, Cloud Sync integration using Microsoft OneDrive, coupled with a graphically integrated, visually controlled dashboard. So the system includes Bluebeam Revu version 12.1 and all associated plugins that they wouldn't let me revise it today after the announcement, so that will be a 5 instead of a 1. We've got Microsoft SharePoint 2013 on-premise server. The pilot program that I actually did a bunch of the videos that you're going to see here today was on Office 365. If we're having like a lessons learned thing, at the end of this, I would tell you don't do that. You want to be on Microsoft SharePoint 2013. Microsoft OneDrive Cloud Sync and the OneDrive capabilities, and some of the things that we did to help the project team out in the field, just like Nima said, getting the core users, the field superintendents, the quality control managers, the people, the boots on the ground that are actually going to be doing all this stuff. Giving them HP touchscreen tablet computers, the HP Revolves are what we went with. Tons of computing power, mobility. We also gave everybody mobile hotspots on their phones, so you never lose connectivity. And just so everybody knows, I'm a big hand talker. That's how I express my passion on this stuff. So you're going to see a lot of hand gestures. So the integration suite, we've got File Access Manager within Bluebeam Revu. We've got Web Tab within Revu, which you will have the the graphic interface within SharePoint within a Web Tab in Bluebeam Revu. And that's one of the big things that we wanted to cut down. Some like the inefficiencies that I saw were that we had these old archaic document management systems and platforms, and it was just the regular network drive with a million folders, and like people have talked about, people just spew all their documents in there, I looked at it, Sundt was started in 1890, but there's no way I'm going to use a document management system from 1890, not on my watch. So So we looked into some additional things like Microsoft Outlook plugin, the integration with that. Of course, everything that has come up regarding the Revu iPad app, we integrated that as well, and the Internet Explorer plugin. So this is the dashboard, and I just want to go over a few things. This is our visual dashboard, and it is your primary folders, the folder structure behind it with all the files in it. And this, like I said, is on Office 365. It's less customizable. There's all sorts of technical glitches that happen because, as far as lessons learned for people that might want to create something like this. And it's because they constantly do updates because it's an online-based program. You've got the quick links that are at the top, and then you've got the visual interface. We also integrated some delivery tickets, quality control inspection forms, things like that. This whole presentation, there's going to be a bunch of screencast videos. They don't have any narration. I'm going to be your narrator today. And right here, just like you've probably seen online or some of the YouTube videos, this is the setup for the File Access Manager. And one thing that we did, kind of differently is we allowed people different ways of presenting or of setting up the file access. You have the ability in Office 365 or in regular SharePoint 2010, 2013, to email yourself a link with the root folder, and then you have the ability to go into Revu and set it up, set your display name, your submittals, dash, whatever your project name is, because you can have multiple projects set up this way within your own Revu. And then you have the ability to access all documentation seamlessly, either from within the web tab or if you want to pull them down directly from your File Access Manager. You see right here, everything's seamless. You have the ability to check in, check out, annotate, add check-in comments. Leveraging a system like this, it just gives you lots of different options, and you have the ability for lots of different people, internal and external stakeholders, to get access to the documentation. I've seen tons of different, and these videos will just keep playing and playing. But one thing that I have seen is lots of contractors and companies, they're hoarders. They're hoarders of information. And I've worked for some of them where you have everything, you want to protect it, you want to lock it down, but you have this whole section that you want to push out to everybody, that everybody needs for them to do their jobs. And this allows you the ability to integrate access controls and things like that. On our site, what I see on my dashboard isn't what the subs see. They don't even see half the stuff that I see. We have a published area, and everybody knows what those are. That's going to be approved submittals. That's going to be RFIs. That's going to be, the digital record drawings. You got all those things that you're pushing out and you have available for everybody. So there's no miscommunication or issues with document control or integrity. The other thing that we did was we set the entire project team, and we've set actually some of our subcontractors up where as soon as you start Revu up, it starts up a web tab, and your home page is the actual dashboard. It's the SharePoint site within. So anytime anybody opens it up, it's automatically opened up, and we actually, I'll share about it soon, but we actually had a way of sharing preferences where where you can set up file access, and then we made videos that showed people how to do this. Basically, a screencast video with a short narration. And this is the other thing. So what you have is, I just touched on it, is you have your file access, and you could have anywhere from 10, 15 file folders, or if it's a published area that you want your subcontractors to have, you have the ability to go into preferences, which has all your SharePoint settings set up in there, and you have the ability to export it, save it, email it to somebody. They have the ability to import it, and then they have everything set up. All I have to do is put their login credentials, which will give them access to certain files and folders. And one thing that actually came up yesterday in the pre-eXtreme conferences was a request from yours truly that if you have the ability to just export just the file access preferences, because we ran into it where you send people the preferences and your name is now their username. So a bunch of stamps with Dominic Daughtry doesn't really help anybody. So shortening the learning curve, like I said, we did a lot of things. We wanted the core users to be able to use this system and not have just trouble, not have to go to YouTube and watch hours of videos. So what we did is we made a customized series of short narrated screencast videos just for the ShareBeam. And those were made available on the SharePoint site. We sent links to people, and it included file access setup, just like you saw, web tab homepage setup, tips and tricks, how to use the system, integrating things with it, and then, like I just said, the ShareBeam preferences, the XML file sharing. So this one is something that came up. I didn't know the capabilities, and somebody in IT had told me that it actually did this. And when you get into something like this, the ShareBeam concept is 100% collaboration. It's been 100% a team effort. But the ability to go in a web tab to the SharePoint site, and then you link a file folder or a folder with your Outlook. So you have the ability to go in when you're in Outlook, and you can view within a viewer all of your documents within Outlook. And you have the ability to email them, you have the ability to open them up. Right here in this video that you're seeing right here, straight from Outlook, I'm able to forward an RFI. And a word to the wise, you can't do this with every single folder because there's not enough bandwidth in the world. All these projects have a ton of large-scale documents, but I use it and the project team uses it for RFIs and things that they're currently working on. You can add them, delete them, but you have the ability to access all your documents straight from Outlook. And then you can pull them, open them up directly into Bluebeam. Revu iPad app integration. Everybody's kind of going gaga over some of the new iPad updates that are coming out. I'm really excited about it. We actually have a lot of projects that we're looking at where they are using iPads. They're both using tablets and iPads, but you have the ability to use this system, and you can set it as a home, as your home page or a bookmark on your home screen on your iPad. Press it, open up any documents. You have the ability to pull them right over into the iPad Review app, annotate, flatten, email. All the functionality that you do, with the iPad app. The other thing, of course, is the Internet Explorer plugin integration. One thing I love about Bluebeam is they make a plugin for everything. They make a plugin for everything, and you don't really know how you would use it. I mean, I've seen some of these things like, I've had workflows where I actually have no idea, how I would use certain things, and then it comes up. But, it's seamless as anything. You can, if you have users, that we had users that didn't want to do it, in the web tab within Bluebeam, and so we just showed them how to do it. This is one of the videos. We showed them how to, open it up, press the review button, opens it up. They're able to do markups. They're able to, check in, check out. All the same functionality, just using it in a different way. Okay, so this was one thing that I had an idea on, and we wanted to do it. We just didn't know how, and we didn't know how we were going to do it with SharePoint. But the ability for OneDrive to do a cloud sync function, and I've seen other, I know I've seen Turner. They've used Dropbox, and I believe McCarthy, use Box, and they've got all these. They have all these programs and softwares that have a local or network folder, and it syncs up to the system. Well, this is the same concept, but it's using SharePoint, which is all integrated with Bluebeam. And that's how we're leveraging everything. And the SharePoint Access Security maintains document integrity, which is a good thing as well. And this is basically a video of me showing basically, you can have all these documents open on your local drive. You have the ability to save them to, whether it's on your C drive, your desktop. It doesn't really matter where it is, or if it's on your network drive. And then those things sync up to SharePoint. And it's great for, like I just said, your published area. The passive sync capability of being able to just put it in a folder and then it pushes it out to all your external users that you want to have the information anyway. You know, you'd see right here that it's syncing, you know, from the local drive. You have the ability right there, and then all you have to do is, come on. Save this last document, and the syncing is you know, depending on your bandwidth, it is extremely fast. You can go right here, and all the documents I just saved, you know, are available online to anybody that has access to them. All your external stakeholders, whether it be IOR, your owner's rep, everybody, and then you have full access to annotate, you know, revise, anything like that. So. Metrics mean everything to everybody, apparently. You know, you know, especially at my company, you know, I'm sitting there, I'm doing every hand gesture I can, you know, presenting this thing. This is like the 10th time I presented this system, and you know, all anybody wants to know is what does that calculate out to in metrics? You know, what are we saving? You know, are we saving, you know, people heartache? Are we saving money? Are we saving time? I mean, what is it? And we've done a great deal of information gathering and data gathering from the project team that's piloting this out at the San Diego City College Building C renovation project. And I'm good friends with the lead engineer over there. And we have literally had other projects teams do screencast videos and time their workflows, and then we've timed the workflows using this system, and we've immediately seen, you know, 20% increase productivity, or 20% time savings in RFIs, processing, both sending in and receiving responses and distribution, submittals 20%, and then the biggest thing, and the one thing that I actually didn't include in the presentation, was document distribution. The way we have it set up, and we just recently set this up, is we have automatic notifications that go out for every library that every external stakeholder it has access to, and it sends a hyperlinked list of everything that was uploaded, edited, everything. It's a recap from the day. It happens at 3 p.m. every single day, and it'll send it out, and it'll say, this submittal was uploaded, approved, this submittal was uploaded, approved, this submittal was uploaded, revise, and resubmit. You know, there's 4 RFIs returned, and they have hyperlinks that go to them. So document distribution is one of the biggest things this system has saved. And then document retrieval, just the multiple abilities to pull in documents you know, from the SharePoint site from within Revu in a web tab, from the file access, from Internet Explorer with the plugin. We're looking at 50% time savings on that, and you know, a bunch of the different inefficiencies that we saw that you know, that are part of these relegated, old-timey, you know, document, you know, management systems that they're still being used. It's dealt with almost all of them, and it's really shined. And we've seen great increases in productivity. The project team really likes it, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.
Thank you, Dominic. Very exciting stuff. Really exciting to see all of this. Now, I know we're running right up against lunch, and there's going to be grumbling stomachs, but this is your one opportunity to kind of interact with these users of Bluebeam who have obviously implemented some very successful integrations to give access to everybody in the project site. So now I'm going to open it up for, can I have 5 minutes for questions? I'm looking at Katie Coral. All right. Yeah. All right. So we have 5 minutes for questions because I want everybody to get to lunch, but I also want you to have the chance to ask questions. So we have mic runners. We have 2 mic runners here. So if you have a question, raise your hand, and we want to make sure that you're mic'd so that everybody can hear you. Thank you.
Hi. My question's for Dominic. What were the metrics against? Was that against a paper process or against Constructware, that kind of thing?
Basically, we had other projects do different, you know, different workflows, and every single project isn't the exact same workflow, which is kind of alarming. But we found that different owners and things, I mean, you'll end up on a project where a certain owner would require you to use their system, their document management system. So we got all sorts of information back in screencast videos, and we timed them all. And we ended up taking averages, and but none of it was paper workflow. I mean, I don't even know what paper looks like anymore.
Anyone else have a question they wanted to ask?
About the RFIs and everything in the dashboard, how you protect the drawings or the RFI that will not be deleted by the users or the team members?
Anyone in particular you wanted to direct that to?
The second guy from the left, please.
Nima, that's you.
Nima, that's you.
It's hard to hear over here. What was it about RFIs?
Yes, everything in the dashboard that you mentioned, how we protect it that any users cannot delete the documents.
Okay.
Protection.
Great question. So security is a big deal. So I think depending on what cloud system you use, there's 2 steps. You can lock the document down. So we have a master document that sits somewhere that only internal people have access to it. And that's syncing with the cloud or getting published. And then when you give access to the outside users, we make sure those security settings are appropriate. So all they can do is view in the document, and if they want to print it or do whatever they want to do with it. So.
David, I think we have one behind you too.
Hi guys, great job, by the way.
Thank you.
Quick question about the SharePoint that you've actually utilized on the projects. Where do you find the most resistance, as in terms of like subcontractors, designers? I'm assuming designers are great. I'm assuming the MVP guys are more into it, but what about like drywall contractors and people that aren't really? I'm in New York, so they're the slowest there. They're just kind of snailing along. They love paper. They love people yelling at them. Just wondering what you guys have seen. I know you're not there, but it would be useful information.
I guess, I didn't present about SharePoint, but the idea is that I think everybody, what they presented is essentially making it really easy for the end user to get to the information. So, I mean, what they were showing, everybody here was showing is how they train people how to upload stuff. But really your end user, if it's the drywall contractor, if you can just get them to open your Launchpad or whatever you're calling it, all they need to know is they either use the mouse or their finger to open that file. So, I've run into subs that initially couldn't understand how they would ever use this. And it's amazing how quickly they convert, because they really do want this information, and this is the best way to get it for them.
Along with that, what we do as well is, kind of like you mentioned, taking a little bit of time to show them how to use it, showing them where within our SharePoint system we've made it easy for them. We try to reduce the number of clicks to get to the information, and also create some quick links so that they can get that pretty easily.
I'll add one more thing on that. True story at the pilot program. He's an old school IOR, and we start, telling him, hey, we're going to have this little training session that's coming up. We've got this document management system. It's going to make your life easy. And he says, I don't care what it is. I don't want to hear about it. If it's electronic, I don't want to use it. He said, you're required per contract to buy me a printer and print me every single piece, every single RFI and ASI and everything on this project. And we checked, and we actually did have to buy him a printer. So those type of people, I'm sure he's a great guy. I mean, I wouldn't hang out with him on weekends, but I'm telling you right now, people like that, there may be nothing. Your drywall guy, you may just be stuck. But don't stop trying though.
I think on that note, I think we'll have to end it here. Thank you so much to our panelists.